morning. I'm Brian Lentz with a look at your local news. The first draft of the 2018 budget has been presented to Council, and Lloydminster residents could see a small property tax increase to help the city meet its budget. Mayor Gerald Albers explains there is a number of outside economic factors influencing the city's budget this year. Simply put, there's no money coming from outside sources into Lloydminster, and that's going to affect the bottom line.
Money that had come out of water utilities have been used to subsidize operations and led to a tax level that we're at today. But does that tax level support the operations of the city? No, that's what was laid out before us today, clearly in the budget 2018.
An increase of $29 per month or $350 a year for properties valued at $350,000 is what's being proposed in the budget. Non-residential properties valued at $1 million would be paying almost $225 a month, or just under $2,700 a year. The proposed budget also states that 20% of revenue from utilities go into reserves to pay for the wastewater treatment plant.
Having money in reserves makes allowances to cover off potential payments on monies borrowed for the wastewater treatment plant, because we're looking at about a $30 million expense to the city.
City Manager Dion Pollard wants to see services and land development deals pay for themselves without relying on taxpayer money to cover expenses.
It's a move in the direction that's quite common in municipalities, and we're taking steps to get there.
City Council is looking for feedback from Lloydminster residents on the proposed budget. The second draft will be presented to Council on November 20th. As we all know, the winter months bring with them hazardous driving conditions. In this week's edition of Retrospect, we see it's important to have more than good tires and working battery to stay safe on the road.
Is a common sight in every community once the weather turns cold. The local towing company out saving stranded motorists who left their lights on, locked their keys in, or just can't start their vehicle. This season keeps them hopping. On a busy winter day, Jerry's Towing in Lloydminster will go to over 50 calls. If you're properly prepared, you'll be safe until they get there. They say emergency kits are a must to carry in your trunk: warm clothing, candles, and some food. Booster cables are also a good idea.
That advice holds true today when out driving on the prairies, yet many people still choose to travel without the appropriate gear.
Everyday people travel, and especially younger people travel with just a light coat. They don't want to have a big bulky jacket on or have supplies in the vehicles. That's not being smart. You need to be prepared when you're out traveling, especially in the prairies.
In addition to having emergency supplies within reach, stocking up on fuel is also a good idea.
I know sometimes you hear all the time people, I can make it to Edmonton, or it's cheap, it's cheaper, 2 cents cheaper in Edmonton, I can make Edmonton, I'll fill up there. Don't do that. Fill up in Lloyd, fill up where you're leaving from, and fill up when you come back so that you always have a full tank of gas.
It's also important to be aware of your surroundings, both on the drive to provide accurate information to first responders and before you leave.
Going there, you might encounter no problems, but on the way back, if you're there for 2-3 days and you're on your way back, there might be a storm warning. You know, take that into consideration before you go. Don't go and say, I'm going to go travel this and I'll chance it on the way back.
And should you find yourself in a situation, Norm says the first thing you should do is remain calm.
Just gather your thoughts. Make sure you turn on your hazard lights, your four-ways, to alert people that you are in the ditch. If it's a blizzard, it's probably not a good idea to leave your vehicle. You'd want to stay with your vehicle. Of course, it's warm. If you've just hit the ditch a little, you know, maybe it depends on how far you're in. Sometimes we tell people carry a little shovel. You might be able just to dig your way out.
That's all for Retrospect.
Well, the Lloyd Comp Barons and Holy Rosary Raiders aren't the only successful football programs in town. In fact, many of the players on those teams began their football careers playing at a level that, as Lance Phillips shows us, has continued to flourish, giving other young players an opportunity to experience football glory.
The Lloydminster Colts finished an excellent season in the Lloydminster Minor Football League with a dominant 38-25 win over the Wainwright Guard Dogs. It's a fitting end for the Pee Wee team, considering the third time was indeed a charm.
Let's just say with this team, this is like 3 years coming. We've been to the finals twice and lost. So you use that a bit as a motivational, because they have been beat before. Now they can get out there, they know what they have to do, and now they're the ones on top.
With young players comes the difficulty of finding a passing game, but everybody on the field can run, and this is where the Colts really excel.
We've had a really strong running backs with Caden Anderson and Cade Pilkey. They're big and they're fast, and so if we get them out wide or even in the middle in space, we can get them to go quite a ways.
Well, we had 4 running backs, and we usually use 2 sets, and everybody, you get a good flow that way, and everybody has lots of reps through the whole season, and it shows.
Monday's game time temperature was a cool -15 with wind chill, meaning keeping extremities warm was a problem for some. For others, not so much.
I got this hand pack thingy, and it's got hand warmers in it, so that keeps your hands warm, and then we put like toe hand warmers in your feet so that they stay warm.
It's decent. It's really cold, so that makes it not fun, but I'm playing football, which is my favorite sport, so that makes it fun.
For nearly all of these players, Pee Wee provides their first experience in football gear, giving them not only a chance to forge new relationships and skills, but also a chance at winning.
The most enjoyable part is actually me winning the cup and getting picks and tackles.
The enjoyment of the game, getting out here and getting to it. There's no other game that you can take 12 people, put them on the field, and make something happen together. And at that age, it sometimes can be a bit of a challenge.
The last challenge facing the Colts is a provincial title game against the Stettler Panthers, a game Lloydminster hosts in 6 days. Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
Kira Lyons catches up with Bryce Zurr, this week's Athlete of the Week, by hitting the football field with the Holy Rosary Raiders.
This week's Athlete of the Week is Bryce Zurr. He is a grade 12 football player at Holy Rosary. And this week it's going to be a little bit different. Instead of a one-on-one skill session, I am actually joining in on practice. So wish me luck.
We started off with a little warm-up, which was great because it was freezing.
My helmet is huge. What am I doing?
Give her a yank or push.
And I just push it all the way?
Push it. Fuck! Go! Got it! Come on, push it!
I guess I don't have to go to the gym today. That's great.
Then I watched the 6'6", 290-pound offensive tackle do his thing before jumping in.
Twist!
Although he may look intimidating, his leadership and humble nature were something I picked up on pretty early.
Oh, that's my thumb there. You okay? So you would have taken Logan, Cash would have taken Carson.
Then we got right into it. Bryce and his teammates guiding me along the entire time.
Heads up, boys.
No twist.
So do I want to push out?
You want to, yeah.
Okay.
Because what you don't want to give him is the inside,
Okay.
because that's the fastest route to the quarterback, so you want to keep him out this side.
Okay. You want to show me how to do this first? I feel like it's going to be really bad if you don't.
Bryce has had quite a few university offers, and as much as I pushed for a U of S selection, he still remains undecided. He hopes to take something along the lines of engineering while competing at the U Sports level.
I survived a practice. I learned a lot. I really don't know anything about football, so thank you so much for opening my eyes a little bit.
Yeah, no problem.
And good luck with the rest of your season and with deciding where you want to go. Cool. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Is everybody touching? Okay. 3, 2, 1! Woo!
That's all the time we have for local news this morning. We'll have more Newcap news in the afternoon and in the evening. You can also find us on Facebook, give us a like at Newcap Television, or send us a tweet, find us there at Newcap TV News, or follow us on Instagram at Newcap News. Thanks for joining us, and have a good day.